Well, keep trying, Rock and Rob. You might notice that we're joined here.
You know, a saint you are in the hearts of all moral men.
Exactly. Now, you might notice that we're joined here by Chris, author of this right here, Haunted Homeowner, or How I Learned to Love Living with the Undead in Abbington. I see you brought your own chair.
I did, indeed.
Chris, would you please like to tell us a little bit about what
it's like tailgating, the Weymouth tailgate party.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if beer was allowed in the studio. So
definitely not.
No, they got rid of mine.
You live in a haunted house, Chris.
Still depressed.
Yes, I do.
Tell us a little bit about what it's like to live in a haunted house, for those who haven't read the book, as if there is anyone who hasn't.
Well, I tell you, it's not a joy. There's a lot of disclosures you go through when you're in the process of buying a house, but apparently resident spirits is not covered under normal disclosures.
Oh, so from what I remember in the book, you bought the house in Abington, signed the purchase and sale, done. Your dream home.
Yep.
You moved in?
We moved in.
What happened, Chris?
Couple nights, all of a sudden, there's screaming, stuff moving around, walls bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, your typical haunted house scenario.
But you learned to love it.
You learn to live with it.
You learned to live with it.
You learn to live.
You learned to live with it.
If you're going to sell a book, you learn to love with it.
No, well, there's all kinds of chapters here. I mean, you have homemade exorcisms, right? How to get blood off the walls. Thanksgiving at your haunted home. Tell us a little bit about that. What are the holidays like at a haunted home? Do you have family over your haunted house?
Halloween must be a real bash.
Yeah, well, Halloween, yeah, they love that. Family holidays.
A lot of money on decorations. People are like, what?
The skeletons are not in the closet; they're right on the front of the house.
There you go.
Well, if the skeletons in the closet or not, I like to think it's their own business. You know?
I generally try to keep them there.
Well, tell us what it's like to entertain on the holidays in a haunted home.
You know, a lot of people ask why we play music so loud. That's one of the reasons. Drowns out the rattling of chains.
Well, actually, that reminds me of the chapter, Not All Bumps in the Night Are Created Equal. Right? You talk about that for a while in the book. How, there are different kinds of bumps in the night, aren't there?
Yeah, there's certain things, and it's just background noise. You put on a little white noise, and you sleep right through it. Other things a little more disruptive, shrieking.
Yeah. What was your last Thanksgiving like there? I mean, was it ultimately successful, do you think?
It was. We actually invited the spirits to dinner with us, and the turkey carved itself. The milk didn't go sour. It was an experience, but it worked well.
Like the Norman Rockwell painting, when you think about it in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, except you could have all empty tables with floating utensils and whatnot.
And what's the song? Beetlejuice.
Oh,
the
banana song.
Okay, yeah. I believe.
Now,
it's not unlike Beetlejuice. You know, the ghost with the most.
Well, see, the thing with Beetlejuice is the spirits have somebody to go to get rid of the living.
Yeah.
The living do not really have anybody reliable to go to.
Yeah.
There's taps, the ghost hunters. There's psychics who are generally unreliable.
There was Ghostbusters, too. The real Ghostbusters, matter of fact. And I called their number, and nobody answered. So
it's hard to get some eggheads with proton packs out to the suburbs.
Yeah.
Which is why I started dealing with it myself, hence the book.
and learning to love it.
And learning to love it. It's like tackling any other problem you have with the house. You buy a house, you're going to have to make repairs.
Right.
You just have to deal with a few paranormal things along the line.
Well, how do you deal, for example, with like the blood coming down the walls? Because that's the type of thing that really, annoy your house guests.
Two very simple solutions to bleeding walls. The first and the cheapest, red paint. Solves that problem right there. If you don't like to see the blood or deal with cleaning it up, paneling. Slap it up,
Yeah, and
the walls bleed behind the paneling.
You can't beat wood paneling anyway because it gives every house that very homey, almost kind of 70s look. I'm a firm believer in wood paneling.
Every room's a den.
Yeah.
Put up a dartboard.
And the kids love it, too. I would imagine, by the way, though, you wouldn't let your daughter watch the television.
No TV in our house.
Yeah. Like, you can really get sucked in.
Swimming pool?
Yeah, no clowns.
Do you have a pool? A swimming pool?
Actually, we talked about a pool, and I'm not digging into that ground. Just thoughts of coming across bodies. And above ground, that might work.
Now,
pool party, baby.
In one of the chapters in Haunted Homeowner, Chris, you talk about how it is your dream, perhaps now that you've embraced the haunted house, it's your dream to sort of take this on the road and share it with others, provide sort of haunted makeovers, haunted home improvement, if you will. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Chris?
Sure. Obviously, if you buy a new house, it's probably not going to be haunted unless the contractor died while he was working on it. Your older houses typically have spirits, former residents who haven't passed on. And these houses are in need of a fix-up, and I'm a pretty handy guy. So you throw in the paranormal aspect, Again, I say if you've got a ghost problem, most people are either not saying anything about it, or you're getting these crazies coming over performing exorcisms. The church doesn't do exorcisms anymore, or you get the ghost hunters, which are a wacky lot too. So I
tried AAA when I heard a sound, and they just didn't do it.
You know, you got to complain about the church. I know we're trying to get too political about this, but they won't do exorcisms. They won't make Rob a saint.
I will have
who's minding the store there?
Exactly. Yeah.
I will come to the defense of the church.
The old Pope died.
We discovered in our basement that we had a hell mouth, which is basically an entrance, a gateway to hell, and
highway to hell.
Highway, downway.
You found it in your basement.
We found a hell mouth in the basement. We weren't sure what to do about it.
It's going to lower property values.
It was, but I decided to brick it up, and of course Satan and his minions would smash the wall down every time. So I went to the church, I had them bless some holy water, and I mixed that with the mortar to brick up the wall. Solved that problem completely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of practical information in this book.
Absolutely.
Does it tell you how to make your own holy water, or it has to be from the church?
Well, there are a few places online where you can get yourself ordained as a minister.
Yes.
The other thing is you have to, as far as using holy water, you want to make sure that your resident ghosts are actually Christian, because holy water has no effect on a Muslim or a Jewish spirit.
Now, Chris, you mentioned that you would almost like to maybe do something. I mean, you're on television here. You might like to do something almost like a This Old House type of thing.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Very old house or this haunted house. I'm not sure, but some kind of
this haunted
twist.
house roll, your normal repairs into dealing with the spirits.
Yeah.
And again, you have two choices. You can go to war with the spirits and do everything you can to get rid of them, or you can learn to live with them, which is sort of the happy medium that I've come to. They can be entertaining. They can be fun.
Well, Chris, were you going to add to that?
Well, no, I was just going to say a friend of mine actually found out his house had a djinn in it, and they had to get like an imam down to do something about that.
Yeah. No, Chris, regular viewers might remember that you actually were the founding member of the Weymouth Zombie Patrol, and there hasn't been a zombie incident in Weymouth in 3 years since you founded that.
Thank God.
Does that relate at all, or do you feel almost like the victim of a vicious cycle, perhaps? How does that relate to moving into a haunted house, right? You get the keys to the house.
You move
Here
in.
It is, honey, and it's haunted.
Yeah, I think I definitely think I got my
honey,
comeuppance there, because a zombie wandering around is a physical manifestation. It's a problem that you can take care of, and I was proactive about it, and now I get blindsided by spirits.
You probably didn't write to Dwight Evans enough, or come up with some kind
Hey,
of...
Dewey will get you out of that,
Nice hit, Dewey.
This is
Yeah.
what I suffer for not being a big sports fan.
Yeah. They get you in the end, especially in New England, right? So ostracizing a bit if you're not that big a sports fan.
Talk about the curse.
I could have had a non-haunted home.
Yeah,
Chris,
the curse
which one of the Michael Landons that we had earlier would you have voted for if that were the case?
A little house on the prairie. I like the afro. I think that works for me.
And living in Haunted House on the Prairie, you can kind of relate to that
Exactly.
a little
It's
bit.
probably his spirit haunting
Haunted
my
House on Route 18, I guess, is...
I can almost see a remake. Haunted House on Route 18.
I
rolling
would
down the
watch
hill.
that.
There's Chris with the suspenders.
There's Melissa Sue Anderson.
Taking a wagon into town.
There's Melissa Gilbert.
Remember, vote at WeymouthAfterDark@hotmail.com. How do you like your Landon? Joe, I hope you didn't spam it with Deputy Dog again this time. You have the results for us. Please tell us who won the How Do You Like Your Landon contest.
Well, actually, you remember the contest. It was, Little Joe from Bonanza, Charles Ingalls from Little House, and the guy from Highway to Heaven. But the winner, it turns out, was actually Nellie Olson. Believe it or not, I think her mother voted for her about 800 times. Although, am I the one who thinks Nellie is a little bit kind of
Chris,
attractive in this picture?
A few final words, Chris. I wanted to say to you in your book, I believe I was touched by the end of it where you said, it's not a haunted house, it's a haunted home. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Just a few final words?
Learn to love it, accept it. They live there too. In fact, the ghosts love the house so much they never left. So
yeah, and
it's a home to them. It should be a home to you as well. And someday, hopefully, I'll haunt my own home.
And there you have it.
Something to look forward to.
I'd like to thank Chris for coming on here today.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Certainly.
And watch my show. It's on next.
Oh, yeah. This haunted house coming up next. And, of course, founding member of the Weymouth Zombie Patrol. And we're, of course, deputy members of that as well. So we all...
I call myself Deputy Dog.
Folks, thank you for joining us tonight on Weymouth After Dark. I would like to thank Chris, Haunted Homeowner, Joe, Nicole, Zach, Jessica, Kim. Happy birthday, Jessica. Johnny.